Hi parents, I am Mrs. Peterson and I'm going to be your son or daughter's honors algebra 2 and trigonometry teacher this year. I just wanted to start this video off by telling you that I'm really excited about the school year this year. Even though we're returning online, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that the way we have it set up this year is going to be very conducive to learning, since we are going to be meeting every class period that we have class, just like if we were back in school in person. So I think this year is going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to start teaching your students Algebra 2. So for this video, I'm going to walk through a couple of slides that I typically show in person during Meet the Teacher night. So let's start off. This is Honors Algebra 2, the 2021 school year. And let's start off just by telling you a little bit about myself. I was born in Pennsylvania and raised in New Jersey, and I went through the Catholic school system from kindergarten through 12th grade there. When I graduated high school, I found myself out in Indiana as a Boilermaker at Purdue University. In 4 years, I got 2 bachelor's degrees and a minor. My 2 bachelor's degrees were in mathematics and computer science, and my minor was in electrical engineering. I solely got my math degree because I just like math, but I never really thought I'd be using it besides in a program. And that's kind of the irony of life, because I am now not a programmer. I am a teacher at Seton Catholic. Well, my programming degree actually brought me out here to Arizona, straight from Purdue. I got hired at Intel, where I worked for 15 years as a programmer and a manager of engineers. During that time, I was married, and I had 4 wonderful children whose names are on the sticky note: James, Brandy, Danny, and Ben. And after having my 4th child, I decided that it was time for me to stay home and raise my own kids. Well, shortly after I started staying home, I realized that I really need to work. I just was bored and felt like I could do so much more if I had a job. So I went and I got my substitute teaching certificate and started subbing over at St. John Bosco. During that time, I had found students that needed help in high school math, and I was asked to tutor some students in high school math. So I kind of tutored for about 10 years, substitute teaching on and off during that time. And by 2013, there was a position open at Seton, and I found myself applying for that position where I was hired, and I've been part of the Seton Algebra 2 program ever since. So let's talk about the required material that your students will need for this year. First off, the first textbook we're going to start off with should have already been bought and received, because your student has 3 homework assignments that they need to turn in by the first day of class. It is the Intermediate Algebra 2 and the Intermediate Algebra 2 textbook by Martin Gay. It's the 6th edition, and all of our homework will be taken from this. I follow this book almost to a T, and it's a great resource, has great explanations of all the concepts we're going to cover, and really wonderful step-by-step examples in the textbook. Your students are honor students, so I'm sure they've already read math textbooks before, and they know how invaluable those textbooks can be. Well, second semester, we're going to be moving into trigonometry, and this is going to be our textbook. They don't need it until second semester, so maybe an idea for you is to purchase it, wrap it up, and put it under the Christmas tree for your student. It is called Trigonometry, and it's written by Leal, and it is the 10th edition. And again, all homework is going to be taken from this textbook. And again, it's a great resource for your students to read through those full explanations of concepts and those step-by-step examples. The last thing that's totally required is a Math Excel subscription for algebra. The algebra portion of this class, they will be doing chapter reviews in Math Excel. So they will need to purchase that. I'll be sending out instructions to them and to you for how to purchase a new subscription this year. And lastly, they will need all of these nice little things. First off, they need lined loose leaf paper for homework. They need graph paper for any graphing homework. They need pencils, because I will not accept any assignments done in pen. They need a ruler or straight edge, which I'm sure they have plenty of those at home. And they'll need a calculator that's able to evaluate exponents and roots, logarithms, both the common log and the natural log. They'll need to be able to access the natural number and pi. And they'll also need the 3 trigonometric functions, sine, cosine, and tangent. My favorite is the Casio calculator that I purchased at Walmart for around $10. I think they're a little bit more expensive now. They may have gone up to $15, but they're still a fairly cheap solution. Also, if you think your student is going to go to pre-calc next year, it may be worth you checking out the TI-84 calculator and talking to Ms. Sanders about her requirements for that TI-84 calculator. So what are my homework and grading policies for this year? Well, like I said, most of all the homework comes from the textbook, except for the chapter Math Excel reviews. Work has to be written in an orderly fashion on paper, and it has to be submitted on the due date. Either a hard copy if we're in person, or a soft copy they'll be uploading to Canvas. They will have a chance during every class to ask questions on the homework, so I will not be collecting that homework until after all questions are asked. So they have the opportunity to take any problem that they didn't get right or didn't know how to do and work it with me in class. Graphs, they have to be completed on graph paper, and I don't have graph paper as a valid excuse for graphing anything online paper. So make sure that you run out and you get a packet of graph paper so that they have it this year. And just a little note down here, their homework average that you see in Canvas is typically within 10 points of their test grade average. So it's really important for students to practice the concepts that we're working on in class. So what's my grading policy? Well, homework is 20% of the overall grade, tests are 60% of the overall grade, and the final is 20% of the overall grade. Homework, they get 1 point per problem that they turn in on their written work. And if they turn in a late assignment that they haven't already talked to me about, then there's a reduction of 50% of the grade there. So if their homework is out of 20 points, they'll only get 10 points if they do it all and turn it in late. Tests, there will always be a Math Excel review for our algebra chapters, and no work is required there. Then taking tests on time is extremely important. I find out students that, have stayed home because they were unprepared. They typically are no better prepared when they come back to take the test. And because it's been a longer time, that material is no longer fresh in their mind. So it's really important that they show up on the day of the test and take it. Students who are absent, if it's a planned absent, they need to talk to me beforehand because they should be taking that test in 0 hour the day of their absence. If it is an unplanned absence, due to sickness or death in the family or anything like that, something that's unplanned, when they get back to school, they should come and talk to me about arranging a time to take that test. All right, and then their final, while it says it's multiple choice here, it isn't multiple choice. It's only multiple choice for my regular class. They will have a written final. Okay, so what happens if your student is struggling in this class? Very few honor students actually struggle in this class, but if you do have a student that's struggling, how can you help your son or daughter be successful? Well, first off, don't wait until the very last second to get help. If you see that they're struggling, they're not completing their homework assignments, ask them why. Give them the help that's required. If they need a tutor, you can ask me. My husband tutors. There are NHS students that also tutor as well at school. So don't wait to get help. Check their phone. See if they have PhotoMath or Mathway or Slater on their phone. These programs, these math programs, really are not good for students to use. Students tend to use them when they're stuck, and instead of trying to think through the problem, they just take a picture of their problem and put it in photomath, and photomath gives them the answer and all the work to it. And while in some cases, after trying a couple of times, photomath might be a good solution, a lot of students don't use it in the right way. So I would delete all of these math programs from your son or daughter's phone. Take away their calculators. They're not allowed to use them in class, and they're not allowed to use them on the test except for very specific problems. So take their calculators away if they're using them on their homework. And pay attention to how they are spending their time doing their homework. Are they watching YouTube videos in between doing problems, or switching out different songs on their phone because they don't want to listen to that one that's in their playlist? So pay attention to how they're spending time doing their homework, and frequently check their grades on Canvas. All right, so the last thing you need to know is how to contact me. Well, I'm easy to contact. Just email me. This is the fastest method at jpeterson@setoncatholic.org. If you want me to answer you more slowly, you can call me, okay? Either way is you can set up a time for us to talk, or you can set up a face-to-face meeting if you need to, or a Google meeting at the beginning of the year if your student isn't doing well. But email definitely is the fastest way to contact me. Well, again, thank you for watching this video. My name is Mrs. Peterson, so if you have any questions or concerns, please contact me via email or phone.